The sky is falling.
The sky is falling. We got the Chicago Sky general manager, Jeff P., throwing Angel Reese under the bus?
The thud you just heard echoing out of Chicago's arena wasn't a loose basketball. It was Chicago Sky general manager Tyler Marsh kicking the locker room door shut and unloading the harshest words of his tenure. Moments after yet another dispiriting loss dropped the Sky to a miserable 2-6, Marsh stood in front of TV cameras and, without a flinch, called out his franchise centerpiece by name. We need more production out of Angel.
Angel Reese is under fire from the Chicago Sky general manager. The general manager names Angel Reese by name and says, we need more out of.
In a league where executives normally speak in vanilla cliches, that single sentence landed like a lightning bolt. Inside the room, towels froze mid-swipe, teammates stared at their shoes, and even veteran trainers felt the floorboards vibrate.
The Chicago Sky lose again. The Chicago Sky lose again. Now, this is actually something that's pretty funny. I need to show it to you guys. Angel Reese's teammates, I mean, they got her in the post, but for some reason, they're just choosing not to give her the ball.
Angel Reese, the self-styled Barbie who entered the WNBA on a tidal wave of Instagram hype and jersey sales, had just been publicly fitted for a target the size of the Sky logo itself. A year earlier, she was Chicago's billboard queen, Rookie of the Year buzz, sneaker collabs, courtside selfies. Today, her stat line looks like a flashing check engine light, 10.4 points on 35% shooting, turnovers climbing, and an offensive rating dead last in the league.
That's something that has yet to come together, but it's a necessity for us to win, Pagliuca said. She's had some great games, and she's had some games like everybody else that haven't been her best. But she's our best chance at versatility on this roster. We need more production out of her, but we need her to help us in other ways too. We need more production out of her. Jeff Pagliuca has been seeing some of the disappointment.
Fans who once lined up for her autographs now scroll highlight montages of her brick layups set to the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme. Yet it wasn't the memes or the mist bunnies that finally snapped the front office's patience. It was the realization that their marketing miracle had morphed into a nightly liability. But that was only the spark that lit a powder keg. Last April, it felt as though the Sky's marketing team had bottled lightning. Angel Reese's draft night grin lit up giant LED billboards along Madison Street, her jersey crashed Fanatic servers, and the club's social feed spiked to record engagement.
Reese has seen her numbers drop from her rookie season to her second in 2025. She is averaging 10 points on 35% shooting and 12 rebounds per game compared to 2024, where she posted 13.6 points on 39% shooting and 13 rebounds per game. To make matters worse for the Sky, Courtney Vandersloot, she's out for the season with a torn ACL.
A year earlier, she was Chicago's billboard queen, Rookie of the Year buzz, sneaker collabs, courtside selfies. Today, her stat line looks like a flashing check engine light, 10.4 points on 35% shooting, turnovers climbing, and an offensive rating dead last in the league. Fans who once lined up for her autographs now scroll highlight montages of her brick layups set to the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme. Yet it wasn't the memes or the mist bunnies that finally snapped the front office's patience. It was the realization that their marketing miracle had morphed into a nightly liability.
That's something that has yet to come together, but it's a necessity for us to win. She's had some great games, but she's had some games like everybody else that haven't been her best. But she's our best chance at versatility on this roster.
But that was only the spark that lit a powder keg. Through the first month of 2025, the on-court product looked nothing like the sizzle reel. Reese's field goal clip plummeted below 36%, her once automatic putbacks clanged off the back iron, and turnovers ballooned as defenses packed the paint and dared her to finish over length. The Sky's offensive rating nosedived to a league-worst 90.1, nearly 10 points off playoff pace, and you could feel the arena's mood curdle. The same crowd that had shown up early for selfies now shuffled out early to beat traffic. Empty seats on a Wednesday night told a harsher story than any box score.
How come the first time we hear you call a player out by name, it's Angel Reese? How come you went and you hired Tyler Marsh to be the head coach of this team, and then you co-signed him building an offense around Camila Cardoso, yet the first time we're talking about we need more from a player, it's for Angel Reese and not Camila. Last time I checked, they both have been playing like garbage.
Meanwhile, social media, never short on cruelty, started slicing every blown layup into supercuts set to circus music. The highlight packages meant to crown a phenom were quietly replaced by brick watch threads, and local talk radio hosts who once debated Angel's all-star ceiling now asked if she'd even crack the league's top 20 forwards.
Bring it back to the dipsy-doo, whipsy-doo, give it a scoopity-boopity-bop! Bang! More layups. She's right-handed, by the way. Did you know? Bang! She's a great rebounder. She grabs that board really well. All the people there are excited to watch her rebound. Look at that. Watch out for the out-of-bounds line. Bang! If I'm her coach and I see this setup right here, I'm calling timeout. Nothing good ever happens here. Bing bong. Bang! Anytime she gets tied up for a jump ball, you know she's losing that because she can't jump. Bang!
What began as a branding masterclass was transforming into a PR migraine. Hashtags don't score buckets, and billboards can't defend pick and rolls. Management suddenly faced a scoreboard that mocked every glossy poster they'd plastered across the city. Inside Wintrust headquarters, the tone flipped from celebratory to surgical. Executives pored over analytic heat maps that glowed angry red under the rim, ticket sales dashboards that flatlined after the home opener, and merchandising forecasts that predicted the first year-over-year slump since the franchise moved downtown.
We had pretty big, significant expectations for the season, which is why I made the moves I made. His assessment was that the Sky's 2-6 need to improve everywhere going into to address the lack of cohesion on defense and poor shooting. Going into Tuesday night's loss, they allowed a league worst 90.1 points per game. We're shooting just 39%.
The disconnect was impossible to ignore. Angel Reese remained an algorithmic sensation, yet the Sky's win column collected cobwebs. But the numbers were only the opening credits to a harsher confrontation about to unfold behind sealed doors.
Angel Reese was quoted as saying, "I put my head down and work every single day. I don't give up on anything. I critique myself the most. I know it's going to translate. I'm just going to put my head down and work. I know the results will show."
Tyler Marsh tried silence, then polite coach speak, and finally the classic "we'll fix it" in the film room. None of it moved the needle. So after Chicago's 8 straight games scoring under 80, an 85-66 drubbing that had Liberty fans chanting overrated while Angel Reese clanked 2-point blank layups, he detonated a truth bomb.
The Sky believed they were ready to compete for a playoff spot season, but a team could give anyone a fight. There's no sugarcoating how things have gone. They sputtered early, lost Sloot to a torn ACL. They're near the bottom of the league, both offensively and defensively, after loading up on veterans. Even understanding that growth takes time, the Sky shouldn't have been this bad.
Standing in a cramped media scrum, the Sky's GM looked straight ahead and said the sentence nobody in PR wanted to hear: "We need more production out of her, but we need her to help us in other ways, too." Reporters went wide-eyed. The locker room door swung open and slammed shut so hard that trainers jolted, and inside, the roster froze mid-undress. According to 2 team staffers, Marsh's voice reached halftime speech decibels as he asked a question that felt like a verdict. How many blown layups does a win cost? Phone stayed face down. Veterans stared at the floor. Even the rookies, who worship Reese on TikTok, could feel the temperature plummet. But if the GM's blast sounded brutal, what happened next made it positively clinical.
Well, that's a front office issue as much as it's an Angel Reese issue. If your front office and your coach is completely fine with one of your star players missing practice to go to this engagement and to go to that engagement, then your general manager and head coach, they need to have a little bit more backbone. They need to say, no, this is a brand new team. We can't afford that, Angel. But instead, they co-sign it. They allow it. They encourage it. And they wonder why things look how they look.
Away from reporters, Marsh pulled up synergy clips that showed the same horror loop. He's catching perfectly under the rim and ramming the ball off the back iron. The GM circled each freeze frame in red and pointed to the scoreboard deficit that followed. Then came the line that, according to insiders, echoed long after he walked out: "Chicago doesn't hand out influencer minutes." In a single phrase, he torched the idea that social traction could shield on-court inefficiency.
Manager Jeff Pagliocca allowing Tyler Marsh to say, "Yeah, Angel, go do your influencer thing, and hopefully it doesn't take away from your basketball play."
The fallout was immediate. Local radio spent the next morning debating whether Marsh had broken the last seal or simply said what every Sky teammate was already whispering, while comment sections morphed into real-time polls: bench her or build around her. Even ESPN's power ranking column noted the Sky's net rating and brutal league-worst offensive output, then slid Marsh's quote underneath like a flaming quote. Coaches started tracking not just makes and misses, but how many possessions died when Angel ventured into traffic.
This is an easy entry pass right over Brianna Jones into Angel Reese's left hand. We can do a sidearm pass right into Angel Reese's left hand. We drop it off to Rachel Banham. Rachel Banham looking right at Angel Reese. And you know what this team would rather do? They would rather, look at that, Angel Reese is just quitting at this point. She knows she's not getting the ball. They would rather turn the ball over on a shot clock violation than give Angel Reese the ball when she actually has post position.
The message was unmistakable. Star status no longer guaranteed fourth quarter floor time. But if you think management's fury was intense, wait until you see how the tension oozed onto the hardwood between teammates. When the word stopped echoing, another sound filled the arena: silence. The chill became obvious in Chicago's first game after the public calling out 63 separate possessions, yet Angel touched the ball in the paint only 7 times. Cameras caught one especially brutal sequence. Haley Van Lith motioned seal with her left hand, saw Reese with perfect inside position on 6'1" Sabrina Ionescu, and still zip pass to the weak side corner. The shot clock expired without a single dribble toward the rim. Veteran forward Brianna Jones voiced what many were thinking when she muttered to a sideline reporter, "Turnovers sting less than free points left hanging." Slow motion replays became social currency, freeze frames of teammates literally turning their backs on a posted up Reese while defenders sagged into passing lanes, daring Chicago to try the feed.
This is a team that they might say that they get along, they might say that they're all friends and everything's fine in the locker room, but yikes, come on, look at that. Alicia Gray's back's turned to the play, Brianna Jones is face guarding Camila Cardoso, and Rachel Banham just refuses to give Angel Reese the ball, and the Chicago Sky get a shot clock violation. I'm not sure what's going on over there in Chicago.
Analysts highlighted the micro-expressions, tiny head shakes, half shrugs, that betray eroding trust. You could see it in defensive huddles too. When Angel called out a rotation, half the lineup pretended not to hear, staring past her at the scoreboard as if waiting for the final buzzer to bail them out of an awkward conversation. And it wasn't just optics. Coaches began tagging every ignored post entry in film sessions, handing Reese a stats sheet that felt more like an autopsy: touches per possession down 38%, assist opportunities cut by nearly half. The once booming Feed Angel chants from the home crowd dissolved into uneasy murmurs.
Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too.
I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too.
A year later, do you feel like you're
Next question. Angel Reese can't proudly accept the role of the villain, then beg people for sympathy. You can't complain about mythical racism. You can't create stories of fake racism that get exposed, then ask people to feel sorry for you.
Practice battles turned chippy. A harmless box-out drill ended with elbows flaring and coaches prying bodies apart. But if you thought fractured chemistry was ugly, just wait until the entire internet grabbed popcorn and turned every missed bunny into a meme for millions. Overnight, a supercut titled Layup Lottery stitched 5 of her cleanest misses to clown horns and hit 3 million views before dawn. Meme accounts paused NBA Finals chatter to zoom in on her rim-rocked bricks, rewinding frame by frame like the Zapruder film. Comment sections flipped from Barbie to Brick Barbie. Even neutral fans piled on, asking how a 6'3" forward could shoot 35% inside 4 feet. But the real damage came from side-by-side edits of Caitlin Clark torching nets while Reese clanged bunnies, pushing a narrative Chicago's PR team can't outrun.
Caitlin Clark is more mature. Caitlin Clark has decorum.
Caitlin Clark obviously is jet fuel to its popularity.
Caitlin Clark is far better of a basketball player and has made such a tremendous impact in a greater number, more so than Angel Reese. Everybody knows that. Her college career was better. The stadium sales, the WNBA popularity has gone up because Caitlin Clark.
Sponsors took notice. One sneaker brand quietly paused a collab rollout, whispering about optics. Meanwhile, Marsh's post-game jab looped beneath each highlight, turning the GM into the story's reluctant hype man. Yet the front office's next move would prove memes are nothing compared to market math. Season ticket charts that once climbed like ski lifts have leveled into plateaus, and the merch department, formerly shipping Chai Barbie jerseys by the pallet, now stares at stacks of unsold stock. Inside Wintrust headquarters, glossy marketing decks have been replaced by grim dashboards, social impressions up triple digits, but revenue per fan down, and arena concession sales sputtering alongside the standings. Sponsors feel the squeeze, too. A beverage partner quietly froze a billboard campaign featuring Reese's grin, citing message timing. Another invoked a performance-out clause if her efficiency doesn't climb by July. Even ticket reps, once armed with highlight reels, now field calls asking for partial refunds. The disconnect is brutal, viral doesn't equal viable, and Chicago's accountants are running out of ways to hide the red ink. When the balance sheet starts bleeding faster than the box score, there's only one lever executives can still pull. League insiders say Chicago slipped a discreet feeler to 3 teams, asking, what's the going rate for a forward with a million-follower aura and a 35% clip at the rim? That text alone lit up group chats like a 4th of July fuse. Suddenly her name hovers in every rumor thread. Dallas could use rebounding. Seattle craves star wattage. Indy fans drool at the chaos storyline. Marsh hasn't confirmed a thing, yet the mere possibility changed everything at practice. Reporters noticed Angel sprinting to every drill, clapping after clean catches, even diving for a loose ball that skidded toward the bleachers.
I have yet to see a single example of Angel Reese being a leader. Outside of rebounding her own missed layups, what does Angel Reese do? What is her contribution? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it. I know I'm harsh on Angel Reese, but she considers herself a star. If you're going to call yourself a star, I expect you to perform like a star, especially in big moments. Caitlin Clark was injured. Angel Reese was the only star on the court last night, and for 27 minutes, she completely disappeared.
If whispers alone rattled the locker room, imagine the quake when the deadline clock starts its final 10-second countdown. Just when the rumor mill hit full roar, Angel Reese uncorked a stat line nobody saw coming. 11 points, 13 boards, 11 dimes, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Chicago's first triple-double since 2021 and the league's social feed overnight. Gone were the rushed hooks. Every seal was patient, every kick out on time, and the rim runs looked explosive instead of frantic. Even the bench, frosty for weeks, met her with chest bumps as the Sky upset Connecticut by a dozen. Fans online flipped again, shouting breakout unlocked, while skeptics rolled eyes. One night doesn't erase 2 months. Inside the front office, the performance bought breathing room but not amnesia. Scouts still note her footwork drifts and free throw mechanics wobble, yet the ceiling is impossible to ignore. Reese's own post-game line said it best, "I heard the noise." Tonight was the answer. But is this the start of a climb, or a sugar rush before another crash? Here's the math Chicago can't dodge. Height minus efficiency equals tension, and tension eventually forces action. The Sky drafted a movement, not a meme, and the countdown is ticking louder than the arena DJ. Angel Reese now stands at a fork, tighten finishing, steady footwork, reclaim trust, or watch the franchise pivot while billboards come down. Triple-double nights prove the potential. The empty columns between prove the peril. So where do you land? Is Reese one adjustment away from silencing every skeptic, or the league's loudest cautionary tale? Drop your verdict below, smash that subscribe, and brace yourself, because trades, triumphs, or total implosion, this saga's next twist is coming fast. And when it hits, you'll want a front row seat.